Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms. Welcome back to the channel here on YouTube.com. It is Sunday. Yes, that's right. Sunday, April 11th, 2021. We are less than 24 hours removed from night one of WrestleMania 37. We have a lot to talk about and a lot of material to dissect before we get into night number 2, which is, of course, tonight in less than 5 hours. And I'm going to be quite frank and honest with you, despite the horrendous build, and the build sucked, despite the build, overall, as far as night 1 is concerned, we'll see what night 2 produces. I still think night 2 looks better as far as the matches go. Night 2 definitely will produce the better matches overall. But in terms of an overall night 1, I will say that night 1, despite a few blips here and there were some really bad moments on the show. We did have the fucking lightning delay in the beginning, which we'll talk about, and how WWE handled it. Overall, in terms of a top-to-bottom show, night 1 was actually not as bad as I anticipated it to be. We did get a very good WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Crowd really made it better than it really was, but it was still a good match nonetheless. That kicked off the show with a very surprising outcome to a lot of people. Cesaro and Seth Rollins set the bar extremely high. We got a very, very, very entertaining, a very, very good tag team match with Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, Miz, and Morrison, in which Bad Bunny completely outperformed everyone's expectations. And then we got a great main event to close out the show between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, two women with absolute pride, showing up and showing out, and a lot of people's concerns about this match. I understand your concerns about the match, and we will talk about that once we get to Sasha and Bianca in the review. But for those of you who do not know me, of course, I am DJ Storms, Mr. Controversy, the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the official rewind for WrestleMania 37 night number 1, which of course streamed live on Peacock last night from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida, April 10th. 2021, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. They actually moved it back because of a weather delay, and even then they had to delay the show by 45 minutes because of an actual lightning delay, and they had to clear out everyone. They had to clear out everyone from Raymond James Stadium, put them inside some tents, or put them inside somewhere while the lightning and the thunder and all the storm clouds were clearing out. Michael Cole and Samoa Joe were actually wearing ponchos, rain ponchos, so it was a long, tumultuous night for a lot of people. I'm actually recording this directly after the show, so I'm going to be up late. I'm going to be up late editing. I'm going to be up late setting it to premiere. Of course, you guys are watching this now after 3. But overall, night number 1 was not as bad as a lot of people anticipated. We got a fairly decent overall night of professional wrestling. There was a lot of good on the show. There was a lot of bad on the show. And we're going to talk about that starting right about now. But first things first, of course, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you follow me on the Twitter sticks. Of course, my Twitter handle is @HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please make sure you follow me on Instagram @TheDJStorms. Add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All the links are in the description. I would like to send out a special thank you to Mr. Indigo Uchiha. So if you want to go follow him on Twitter, you can follow him on Twitter @LEL_Indicud, INDICUD. And you can follow him on Instagram as well, @Indigo_Uchiha. underscore Unchia, INDIGO underscore UCHIHA. He appeared on the rundown for WrestleMania 37, where him and me, we dissected everything. It was the first ever live rundown that I actually have ever done with a guest. So I'm very, very happy that he joined me for the live rundown. Very, very pleased with the outcome. The connection was a little wonky. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I am a huge perfectionist and I strive for the absolute best. So I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had. A little staticky. The mic wasn't turned up all the way. But going forward in the future, hopefully we can rectify that. I would like to send out also another special thank you to Mr. Gamer's Goon. He had me and Mr. Joseph Conlon, who was actually in attendance at Raymond James Stadium for WrestleMania. We were on his channel on Thursday to dissect the show and preview and predict the entire show. Very, very pleased with that, actually. That took place over Zoom. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that shit over Zoom and make it a live stream. I'm not too good with all the technical shit. I'm very, very simple, very, very straightforward. I know how to do what I know how to do, but when it comes to learning new shit in terms of technology, I really need to be taught it. I'm more of a hands-on learner, if you know what I mean. But regardless of that, thank you to Mr. Gamer's Goon. It was great to collaborate with him and Joseph Conlon again of Big Fight Feel. We are about 6.5 minutes into the video. I don't know what the fuck you're doing if you haven't already liked the video. So please, if you haven't already done so, there's a little like button right down there. All you need to do is scroll down and click it. That's all you need to do. You just need to scroll down. You just need to click it. That way, helps out the video. Get the video in the eyes of as many people as possible, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to hit the like button if you haven't already done so, because we want to get to the goal of 30 likes. 30 likes is a reasonable goal, so I think we can reach it. But in order to do so, if you haven't already done so, if you're in the chat to the right, please make sure you have hit the like button when you step on in the chat. Because when you step on in DJ Storms' premieres and DJ Storms' live streams, you gotta make sure you hit that like button. Also, in order for us to reach that goal, we need to get as many people in here as possible, and that requires you, the viewer, sharing out the stream on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram, or Facebook, or Tumblr, or Pinterest. Yes, people still use Pinterest, I know. But regardless, you need to make sure you share out the stream on all platforms of social media, because that way we can get as many people in here as possible. I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughters, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your cousins, your dogs, your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, because I have read about 200 articles. Yes, I've been keeping track, people. I have read about 200 articles that specifically state if guinea pigs are exposed to DJ Storms, they are said to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. So I need you, if you have a guinea pig and you want him or her to live a long, happy, healthy, fruitful life, you gotta make sure you tell your guinea pigs that DJ Storms is live with a new video on YouTube.com. You already know. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I am growing, once again, getting back up to it. I'm up, I'm down, but I am maintaining it. I am maintaining a very, very solid amount of subscribers, and I want to gain more. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button when you come in. If you don't already have that subscribe button clicked, hit it, click it, so that way I grow and I expand and I get my name and brand out there. And of course, when you hit the subscribe button, You have to hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way, you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Not sure why I turned into fucking Bad Bunny right there. But regardless, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. Sound like that ain't Bad Bunny. That sound like fucking Juan Decimo from Fairly Odd Parents. Shit's from my childhood right there. But please, you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube because it's the only time you get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combo. This beautiful mustache right here because everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. Just gonna comb my hair back just a little bit, just touch it up just a little bit, touch it up just a little bit. I didn't put any gel in it, I didn't blow dry it, so I just gotta touch it up just a little bit. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. You already know. As the shirt says, it's great to be great, and on the back it says, it must suck to suck. It must suck to not be DJ Storms. I would not know what that's like. So, let's get straight into night one of WrestleMania 37. So, Vince McMahon and all the superstars, they were on the ramp. They welcomed everyone back to WrestleMania. Very, very odd to see people like Jinder Mahal and Otis and Chad Gable all backstage at WrestleMania, even after they just competed on Smackdown. I don't even know why Jinder Mahal was even there. You know he's coming back. And you know for a fact that shit was not going to favor well. And I'm not sure if you got this vibe as well, but I saw Jinder Mahal. Everyone had it set in their minds that Drew McIntyre was going to win the WWE Championship back from Bobby Lashley. I'm not sure if I was the only one or not, but I got nightmares thinking that Drew was going to win the title back and Jinder Mahal was going to be his first fucking feud after WrestleMania. That didn't happen, thankfully. Meaning that Drew did not win the WWE Championship. We're going to talk about that. We had BB Rexa singing America the Beautiful. Nice little performance. The set, by the way, looked fantastic. Set looked fantastic. We had the pirate ship and an LED stage and an LED board underneath the pirate ship. Looked great. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best WrestleMania set of all time, but it's definitely up there in the top 5, maybe even the top 3. Number 1 is still the original MetLife Stadium set, the one from WrestleMania 29 with the Empire State Building and the Brooklyn Bridge and the Statue of Liberty above the ring. That to me, and I'm not just saying that because I was live in attendance for that WrestleMania. I'm saying that because that took a lot of craftsmanship, that took a lot of creativity. That, to me, was the best WrestleMania set of all time. Followed up by the WrestleMania 33 set with the globe and the roller coaster. But I definitely put this as a solid number 3 in terms of WrestleMania set designs, in terms of which one was the best. It was a very, very, very good WrestleMania set. Michael Cole actually reported that there was a weather delay. The announcers were talking, and they were trying to hype up the show and all that, and they waited about 40 minutes before we actually got the show started. Sarah Schreiber, she interviewed Shane McMahon, Bobby Lashley, MVP got involved, Drew McIntyre walked in. He said, Mother Nature can't save your ass. Officials had to separate them. Drew McIntyre was interviewed before Caleb Braxton, JBL, and Peter fucking Rosenberg, this fucking cuntbag, Peter Rosenberg. Don't listen to Dave Meltzer, guys. Oh, you should listen to this. You should listen to my podcast, the Cheap Shot Podcast. What a fucking loser. You know, it fits hand in hand with the WWE. So they talked about the energy of the fans. Kevin Patrick then interviewed the New Day. We had Sarah Schreiber interviewing Braun Strowman, the Stupid Express, who was actually proven to be stupid later on in the night, which we'll talk about that. Kevin Owens was interviewed by Kevin Patrick. Byron Saxton's microphone actually died. And Michael Cole and Samoa Joe, they were in rain ponchos. They said in 5 minutes WrestleMania will begin. Bianca Belair was interviewed. Seth Rollins was interviewed. Miz and Morrison were interviewed. So, here's what I will say. I commend WWE for doing so. I commend WWE for at least trying to keep some sort of investment, and I commend WWE for the way that they went about it. Obviously taking the safety precautions, obviously doing interviews, going back and forth between the announcers and the pre-show panel and the backstage correspondence with the superstars. Obviously, it really wasn't going to come off good because, again, when does a rain delay ever come off good? When does a lightning delay, a weather delay, ever come off good for a regular sporting event, let alone something like the WWE? People obviously are impatient as shit. I commend them for doing what they did. They did what they could, and ultimately we ended up getting the show started at a decent time. Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan kicked off the show, hyped up the WWE title match. Really wasn't anything special. Standard scenario as Peacock. What we got over here? Peacock is going out on me again. Let me fix this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I ain't fucking stopping the recording. Why the fuck not? Work for me here. Right, Peacock sucks. Peacock can suck my cock. Jesus. Sold the rights to the network for this bullshit. But, you know, let me tell you something. While we're waiting for that to load, I don't know if I was the only one thinking this, but I was actually thinking that, you know, with all this rain delay and the lightning delay and whatever the fucking delay, I was actually thinking, look at this. Thanks for watching. Your coverage has concluded. Well, why don't you put it up so that way I can replay it in the background? Thank you very much. No? What the fuck ever? What are we going to put on? What do you want to put on? You want to put on, what do we fucking put on? I don't fucking care. Whatever, we'll leave it. But you know, we're not going to leave it. Come on. There we go. View all. Just continue to replay WrestleMania 37 then. There you go. You need to replay, WrestleMania 37. There you go. Get WrestleMania 37 in the background. I'm on, fucker. So, again, I don't know if you guys were thinking this, but I actually had it in my mind that, you know, the weather delay was actually an unofficial blessing in disguise because Mother Nature was trying to save us from the horrors that we were going to witness. And we did witness a few horrors. Overall, decent show, but we did witness a few horrors. So maybe the rain delay wasn't the worst thing in the world. But after all of this garbage, after all this delay, all the lightning, all the rain, all the snow, the sleet, whatever the fuck the announcers were fucking saying, after the unnecessary intro from Titus and Hulk Hogan, we then got into the first match of the night, which was Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. This was for the WWE Championship, and this was a great entrance for Drew. Drew McIntyre looked legitimately happy to see the fans back. They were chanting for Drew, and Lashley came out. Fans were split 50-50 for Drew and Lashley, as I expected them to be, because that is the natural energy from the fans to boo who they want and cheer who they want. And this is something that I sorely missed. I missed the organic energy from the fans in attendance, and this match really had that organic, well, every match had that organic energy, but the first match back between Drew and Lashley, great to see and hear that organic energy, great to feel that organic energy back after so many fucking months of manufactured reactions that went absolutely nowhere. We got used to them over time, but those manufactured reactions did not do anybody any favors. It was absolutely fucking terrible. It's great to feel that organic energy again. Great to hear that organic energy again. Very pleased to hear that. So, Drew targeted the arm of Bobby Lashley before Lashley regained control. Drew tried to mount the comeback. Very nice neck breaker and a kip up. We had a Northern Lights suplex for a 2 by Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley with a TKO for a 2. Drew McIntyre with a Glasgow kiss, but Bobby Lashley shook it off Bobby Lashley shook it off, delivered the almighty spine buster for a 2. Drew McIntyre then fought back, a reverse Alabama slam for a 2. Drew McIntyre was stuck in a tree of woe, and he pulled Lashley down with a belly-to-belly by his neck, actually, off the top of the tree of woe. Lashley then hit another spine buster, but Drew kicked out. Drew with a future shock DDT. He rolled through, hit a second, rolled through, hit a third, but Lashley still kicked out. Lashley then slid out of the ring. Drew McIntyre with a beautiful tope con hero over the top rope, taking out Lashley and MVP. Drew then caught Lashley with an exploder suplex and a flat liner. Drew fought out of the hurt lock. Drew reversed the spine buster. Actually, he was running up to Lashley. Lashley went for another almighty spine buster, and Drew McIntyre reversed it, rolled Lashley down into the Kimura lock, which looked very, very good. Very, very, very nice transition. Very nice reversal. Lashley then got to the ropes. Lashley then locked in the hurt lock after MVP caused a distraction. Drew tried to fight out of it and roll through, but Lashley did not relinquish the hold. And Drew McIntyre, he did not tap out, but he passed out. He faded away. Drew McIntyre faded away. He was unresponsive and unconscious. And Bobby Lashley retains the WWE Championship. A very good opening match. Really nothing too special, nothing too over the top. Was it better than their match at Backlash? I would have to say yes, only because the fact that the crowd really made that match better than it was. This entire crowd really made a lot of the matches better than they were. The crowd actually made Shane and Braun a little bit more bearable. Not even gonna lie, the crowd actually made Shane and Braun a little bit more bearable. Even though that match was not good at all. Even though that match was not a match that I don't think anyone was going to invest their time in whatsoever. This match, very good wrestling. It was crisp. It was solid. Very nice stuff. The crowd, though, did really make the match better than it was. And I think that we are all in shock that Bobby Lashley actually retained. I had it in my mind that Drew McIntyre was going to win the title back because WWE wanted to give him that moment of winning the title back in front of fans. But apparently they decided to give the rub to Lashley, and now Lashley, it looks like Lashley's going to get a legitimate reign as the WWE Champion. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not complaining about that. I'm not complaining about that. I don't think you're going to complain about that. I think everyone is in agreement when they say that this was the right decision. But here's something that I don't understand. Here's something that I am trying to wrap my head around. Whether or not Lashley was going to win the title or not, whether Drew was going to win the match or not, no matter who won and who lost, if this was the ultimate endgame, why didn't you just keep the title on Drew? And I'm going to continue to fucking say that. I have no problem with the match. Very good match. Crowd was there for it. Crowd really made it better than it was. Drew McIntyre, he showed up to work. Bobby Lashley showed up to work. They worked well together. It was a nice, solid opening match. Lashley won. I'm very, very happy that Lashley is getting a legitimate reign with the WWE title. I don't know who his next opponent is. I have a few ideas. But I'm not going to sit here and shit on the fact that Bobby Lashley is still the WWE Champion. I'm happy that he's getting the opportunity. The thing that I am trying to wrap my head around is I don't understand why you didn't keep the title on Drew and you didn't build this match up on the fact that, oh, here's two strong, dominant individuals, two strong, dominant powerhouses going at it for the WWE Championship instead of this Hurt Business breakup and then Lashley placing a bounty on Drew McIntyre, Drew losing the title to The Miz only for Bobby Lashley to beat The Miz. There's just so many fucking moving elements and so many variables that did not need to be inserted into the WWE Championship picture. Whether this was a last-minute decision or not, if you were going to have Edge ultimately choose Roman, I don't understand why you didn't build this match up with McIntyre still as the champion, maintaining that credibility going into WrestleMania, and then Lashley would have ultimately won, and it would have made Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship win that much more special. But no, he just squashes The Miz in fucking 6 minutes. You could have actually built up the WWE Championship title match and picture as something of substance. But no, you elected to give it to The Miz, only to give it to Lashley, only to break up the Hurt Business, have Lashley put a bounty on McIntyre, have fucking King Corbin try and take the bounty, have him fail, only for us to get a very good opening match, the opening match that we would have gotten regardless, with Lashley retaining. If this was the ultimate endgame, you should have just kept the title on Drew. It would have made Bobby Lashley feel more important, and it would have made Drew's WWE Championship reign ending at the hands of Bobby Lashley feel that much more special that it was in front of fans. So I don't really understand the fucking motto. Again, does nobody think this could have been handled so much better? The build could have been so much better. The overall production of this entire program and storyline going into WrestleMania could have been so much better. Nonetheless, still a solid match. Still a solid match to open the show. Bobby Lashley retains. I think we are all in agreement that Bobby Lashley is the right man to carry the WWE Championship for the time being. I'm not sure how much of this played into the fact that Karrion Kross won the NXT title and he's not going up to the main roster, and how Adam Cole's not going up either, and Finn Balor's not going up either. All of these NXT superstars are not going up. So, at the end of the day, how much of that can be attributed to Bobby Lashley's win here? On top of that, who does Bobby Lashley face now? Unfortunately, I think we are headed down the path of Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank. Strowman's not going to win. I don't expect Strowman to win, but holy shit. Holy shit. It is going to be a long, long, long spring and a long, long, long summer. I don't know what they have planned as far as Bobby Lashley goes, but Braun Strowman, realistically, right now, is the only legitimate guy that has any sort of momentum. He just beat Shane McMahon in the steel cage. The Fiend, I don't think they're going to insert The Fiend against Bobby Lashley at Money in the Bank. I think they're probably going to save that for a fucking Backlash or Extreme Rules. We'll probably get another fucking horror show at Extreme Rules fucking swamp fight with The Fiend and Bobby Lashley. Pass me the bleach. I don't want it, but I have a feeling we are headed down towards Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Where does Drew McIntyre go? I don't really know. I think that he could go into the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think he probably could go into a feud with Matt Riddle. I wouldn't mind him going into a feud with Matt Riddle for the U.S. title. I don't necessarily think that he will. I think that that could be reserved for Randy Orton, but I would not mind a feud with Matt Riddle. I would not mind Drew McIntyre going into a program with Damian Priest. Damian Priest got his first WrestleMania win. I would not mind a little undercard feud with McIntyre and Priest. If you really want to continue to build Damian Priest back up, you can put him in there with Drew McIntyre and have McIntyre put him over. He's a two-time WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, Royal Rumble winner, beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes. If you really want to legitimize Damian Priest, continue to legitimize Damian Priest, you put him up against Drew McIntyre, you have him beat Drew McIntyre. I would not mind that. That's where I can see Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley going, but very good opening match. The crowd made it better than it was, and Bobby Lashley surprisingly retains the WWE Championship here against Drew McIntyre. We got Tag Team Turmoil. Carmella and Billie Kay versus the Riot Squad versus Lana and Naomi versus Natalya and Tamina versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. This is a number one contenders Tag Team Turmoil match to see who would face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler on night number 2, which is, of course, tonight. This was fucking bad. This was bad. And when I say bad, I mean fucking bad. I'm telling you right now, out of all the matches, we're not even through. We're not even fucking through night number 2. We haven't even started night number 2, and I can tell you right now, with all the fucking confidence in me, this match will go down as the worst fucking match out of all the WrestleMania 37 matches. This match was fucking horrendous. And I do not know. It's like everything in the world just fell in line for this to be the worst match ever. The commentary was terrible. The announcer was off. Botches left and right. No one gave a fucking shit about it. The crowd was fucking dead. I expected it. The crowd fucking dead. So, We had Lana and Naomi start out this match against Carmella and Billie Kay. The fact that Lana and Billie Kay are on WrestleMania, but Bayley's not, and Keith Lee's not, Ricochet's not, Mustafa Ali's not, Nakamura's not. The fact that those women are on WrestleMania, but all of those individuals that I just named are not, that's just fucking disgusting in its own right. And if you're in support of this shit, you need to check your fucking self, because I think you've already wrecked yourself. Lana completely botched a roundhouse kick. It did not even connect. Looked fucking terrible. I swear to God, I don't fucking drink, but holy shit. If this was going to keep up and Lana and Naomi were going to advance, I swear to Jesus, I was going to get me a fucking bottle of tequila and just drown myself. I just could not fucking take it. Billie Kay ended up rolling up Natalya. Not Natalya, fucking Natalya. That's how much I care about this. I'm messing up the names. I don't fucking give a shit. She rolled up Naomi for the win. Riot Squad came out next. Morgan was isolated. Morgan and Riot with a double knee senton combo, and they advanced in the tag team turmoil. Carmella then attacked them afterwards. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke entered the match next. Mandy Rose actually fell. She fell on the stage. I'm not sure if it was because of the sunglasses she was wearing or because of the fact that the ramp was slippery because of the rain. It may have been a combination of both, but she just fucking fell on her ass. Picture-perfect description of this match. Picture-perfect description of this match. So we had a botch in the beginning. Mandy Rose fell, and then she got into the ring. She isolated Ruby Riott. Morgan then got the tag. Ruby was taken out by Rose. Rose with a superplex. Dana with a senton. Morgan then reversed the pinfall, and they advance. Greg Hamilton fucked up. He accidentally said that the Riot Squad got eliminated. But then he corrected himself and said that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke got eliminated. So that's 2 down for the Riot Squad. The Riot Squad were on a roll. Then out came Tamina and Natalya. Did I have some hope for the Riot Squad? Yeah, I had some hope. But ultimately, I did not get too excited. Riot Squad kept on the aggression. Tamina then kicked out of the senton combo. She delivered the heart attack with Natalya. Natalya then told Tamina to go up top. We had a Superfly splash, a shit-looking Superfly splash, and Tamina and Natalya advance to night number 2 to face off against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team Championships. As I said before, this was fucking bad. This was fucking bad. And on top of that, Natalya and Tamina win. Did you expect anything less? Did you expect anything less? I didn't. I didn't expect anything less. I did not expect anything less from WWE. I knew that they were going to give it to Natalya and Tamina based on how they were booked the last couple weeks and how poorly that they have treated the Riot Squad. See, what WWE likes to do is they like to tease you. They like to mock you. They like to make you believe that they're going to push your favorites, but 99.9% of the time, they are never fully invested in pushing our favorites. They love to make us believe that they will, and they like to make our favorites look good here and there, but ultimately, when it comes to doing the right thing and giving us the right outcome, they love to just give us a nice big fuck you. Because that's what they're all about. Because they know that, oh my God, we're WWE. They're going to watch anyway. I mean, you had 30,000 people pay their hard-earned money to sit at WrestleMania, even though half of these fucking matches were not even fucking WrestleMania worthy, because WWE takes you for a bunch of fucking retards. And the majority of people in the crowd at WrestleMania were fucking retards anyway. Majority of people that go to these fucking shows are fucking retards anyway. They don't give a shit whether the matches are good or not. They just want to finally be back. They just want to be back at WrestleMania for the first time in over 1 year, or 1 month, and 1 day. We got fans back in attendance. That's all they fucking care about. WWE caters to retards. They like to make you believe that they're going to push their favorites, but what did they do? What did they do? They fucking mocked us with the Riot Squad's great performance. And if I was Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, I'm telling you, man, I would just fucking walk. I really would just fucking walk. I understand the money may be nice. I understand the attention may be nice. I understand the social media support may be nice. I understand the notoriety may be nice. I understand that you may have a lot of friends backstage, but man, if you're sticking with the company, after shit like this, you really have no dignity and self-respect. You really don't. I'm sorry. I love Ruby Riott. I love Liv Morgan. I think they are two of the most underrated women's wrestlers in the company right now. I think everyone wants better for Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, but they're not going to get better in the WWE. If they can't even get a fucking match against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the third most worthless titles in the WWE, not that I give a shit about the women's tag team titles anyway, but if they can't even get a match for the fucking women's tag team titles, if they can't even get that opportunity, what does that tell you about WWE and the way that they look at Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott? If I was them, I would just fucking walk. It's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. Do you expect anything less? No. WWE mocked us with the Riott Squad's great performance. They give it to Natalya and Tamina. And to be quite honest with you, I absolutely see Natalya and Tamina taking the titles off of Shayna and Nia. I would just give them the titles for the simple fact. I don't give a shit about Natalya and Tamina. Natalya and Tamina are fucking AIDS if I've ever seen it. Not as AIDS as Billie Kay, but regardless about that, I would give the titles to Natalya and Tamina for one reason and one reason only. The only reason is because I want to get the titles off of Shayna and Nia, get Nia to the fucking unemployment line, end this fucking Reginald storyline, and get Shayna Baszler in the Raw Women's Championship title picture. That's where I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for. The only reason why I want Natalya and Tamina to win the titles is so we can get them off of Shayna and Nia and get Shayna away from Nia Jax. That's it. Other than that, this was not only the worst match of the night, this may go down as one of the worst WrestleMania matches ever. I am not fucking joking with you. This may go down as one of the worst overall WrestleMania matches ever. I have not seen a women's match at WrestleMania this bad since Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. This match made the fucking Blue Brothers versus, who was it, British Bulldog and Davey Boy Smith? No, Davey Boy Smith. That's how much this match fucked me up. British Bulldog and Lex Luger, all the way back at WrestleMania 11 versus Jacob and Eli Blue. When I had to watch WrestleMania 11 a little bit, I actually popped on WrestleMania 11 and I took a look at that. I took a look at that match. I have not seen a match this bad at WrestleMania. That match between the Blue Brothers and British Bulldog and Lex Luger at WrestleMania 11, that match looks like fucking Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25 compared to this match. This tag team turmoil match, one of, if not the worst WrestleMania match ever fucking produced. This was fucking terrible. I don't know who thought that this was a good match, and if you did, you need to get your head examined. This fucking sucked. So, we started off WrestleMania with a roller coaster ride. We started off on a good note, then we went down, then we went back up again with Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. And this was the match that I was looking forward to the most, and Seth Rollins and Cesaro, they set the bar extremely high for everyone else that was on the card. Cesaro and Rollins may have actually set the bar for the entire WrestleMania two-night event. Seth Rollins and Cesaro, this match was absolutely fucking excellent, and if I'm going to pick a match that was the perfect match booked from bell to bell, it was this match. Rollins and Cesaro, this was the best book match, a perfectly booked match from bell to bell. No, I have absolutely nothing bad to say about this match. I have nothing bad to say. So Rollins actually came out with new Burn It Down theme music. It's gonna take a while for me to get used to it, but Seth Rollins looked good. Rollins, he came out first, then came Cesaro. Cesaro looked great too. Cesaro went right after Rollins with an uppercut as soon as the bell rung. He was wasting no fucking time here. Rollins then caught a springboard uppercut. Cesaro then with an avalanche German suplex, not German suplex, gut-wrench suplex attempt, but Rollins actually reversed it, hit a buckle bomb. That got Rollins a 2 count. Rollins then with a very nice superplex Falcon Arrow combination for a 2. Cesaro then tried for the swing, but Rollins was able to reverse it. Rollins then got caught. Cesaro delivered the swing. Round and round we go. We got 9 swings. This was only 9. This was the first of 2 swings that he actually did. He tried to lock in the sharp shooter, but Seth Rollins got to the ropes. Rollins then with a springboard knee and a sling blade. Rollins then went up to the top, and I thought he was going to go for a frog splash, but he actually added a little different flair to it. He actually did a corkscrew 360 frog splash, which looked very, very good. And that connected flush on Cesaro. Cesaro was able to kick out. Cesaro then connected flush with a neutralizer, but Rollins got the shoulder up. And I was getting a little apprehensive at that point that they weren't going to give Cesaro the win. Rollins then countered another neutralizer and delivered a pedigree, flush pedigree, but Cesaro was able to kick out. Rollins then mocked Cesaro. He hit the Black Magic, the same move that he hit on Shinsuke Nakamura, where he hooked the leg on Cesaro's knee and then hit a back leg lariat to the neck of Cesaro. Very, very nice move by Seth Rollins right there. Cesaro then, he countered the stomp, similar to how Orton countered the RKO back at WrestleMania 31, and Cesaro countered the stomp with a vicious fucking uppercut. Cesaro then with a UFO spin, very similar to the spin doctor that John Silver does on AEW, and then he called for the swing again and delivered it. Round and round he went, 23 swings. He delivered another neutralizer. 1, 2, 3, and Cesaro wins his WrestleMania singles debut in what was an excellent, excellent fucking match. May go down as the best match of night 1. These two brought it. These two fucking brought it, and Seth Rollins and Cesaro set the bar extremely high for the rest of WrestleMania, night 1 and night 2 included. You look at Seth Rollins and Cesaro, and everyone is going to be basing their judgment on which match was good or bad based on Cesaro and Seth Rollins. This so far was the best match out of all the matches on WrestleMania so far. Definitely stole the show for night 1. And Cesaro wins the right outcome. Like I said, perfectly booked match, the right outcome. Excellent wrestling from start to finish, and I really have nothing bad to say about it. This was the only match on the entire card in which I really do not have anything bad to say about, and I really don't have any criticisms about. Cesaro, absolutely. Cesaro, 1,000%. I've been saying it for months now. I've been saying it every single fucking time I do a video and I talk about Cesaro. Cesaro is the guy to beat Roman. I don't know when. Could be at SummerSlam. Could be at WrestleMania of next year. But whenever that is, Cesaro needs to continue to be built up. Cesaro needs to continue to win. And Cesaro should absolutely, undoubtedly take the Universal title off of Roman Reigns. I have my fears, though, that they may waste him at Money in the Bank. I would put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I wouldn't have him win, but I'd put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I would actually have him stem off into an undercard feud with either Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn after Money in the Bank, leading into Backlash to continue to build him up for an inevitable match with Roman at SummerSlam. And I am thoroughly convinced that this push that Cesaro has had, it's all Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is a part of the creative team. You know for a fact that Daniel Bryan, being a part of the Smackdown creative team, he loves Cesaro, he respects Cesaro, he has some sort of influence on what Cesaro has been doing. And he has had an influence over WWE management regarding Cesaro's push. And I hope it continues. I really do hope it continues. I hope for a fact that this leads Cesaro to a Universal title reign. Guy's well fucking overdue for it. Excellent match. Perfectly booked match from start to finish. Right outcome. From there, we went into the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. This was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Big E actually introduced the New Day after 1 year of not introducing them, so that was very, 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 very nice. Very, very, very passionate. Very, very, very real. It was heartwarming. The fans were into it. I liked it. Definitely liked that. Omos was going to start the match before Styles actually said, no, I'll start this, because the New Day wanted Styles. So Styles and New Day went back and forth for a little bit. Styles was isolated by the New Day. They kept AJ Styles from making the tag. Kofi with a double stomp to Styles for a 2. Kofi with a springboard splash to the back of Styles for a 2. Styles actually then eventually made the tag. And in came Omos. The offense of Woods was having no effect on Omos. And Omos then hit some corner avalanches on the New Day. He hit a big backbreaker to Xavier Woods. Stretched him out over his knee. He hit a spinning sidewalk backbreaker to Kofi Kingston. Styles then with a springboard phenomenal forearm off of Omos' shoulders, which looked very nice, taking out Xavier Woods. Omos with a ripcord pop-up spine buster, 1 foot over Kofi Kingston, and Omos and AJ Styles win the Raw Tag Team titles. Omos held his own. He held his own. He executed his moves just fine. And he has a very nice presence. But at the end of the day, this was nothing more than a Monday Night Raw match put on WrestleMania's card. The Tag Team Turmoil match wasn't even good enough to be put on Monday Night Raw, but this match, this was nothing more than a Monday Night Raw match. This was a Smackdown match. This was a main event match that was taken from Monday Night Raw. It was a television match that was taken from TV and placed on WrestleMania. Omos, his performance was very, very similar to Shaq. Very, very similar to Shaq. He held his own, but it was very basic. It was absolutely nothing special. He really doesn't offer anything in terms of, oh my God, wow, I can't wait to watch Omos wrestle. He's not bad. He's not necessarily bad. He's better than the Great Khali, but then again, it doesn't really take much to be better than the fucking Great Khali. I mean, I can do a fucking swanton bomb into a fucking pool better than the Great Khali can throw a fucking clothesline. I mean, it doesn't really take much to be a better professional wrestler than the Great Khali, if we're going to be quite frank here. He's not as bad as the Great Khali, but then again, it doesn't take much to be better than the Great Khali. So he delivered very, very basic moves, basic corner avalanches, basic backbreakers, a basic pop-up spine buster. Pretty much it. Nothing too special, nothing groundbreaking, nothing you're going to go back and watch. The match wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't the worst match of the night. That goes to the Tag Team Turmoil, but at the end of the day, I don't understand why we should care. I don't understand why I should care, because there's literally nowhere for these teams to go. Nothing's going to happen. There's nowhere for AJ Styles and Omos to go. We're probably going to get another match with the New Day, and after that rematch, what happens then? Who are they going to face? Lucha House Party? You're gonna have them face T-Balls and Mace and Jack Black and Jack Balls from the formerly known group as Retribution? Are you going to keep Cedric and Shelton together? Are you going to keep them in a tag team? I mean, you fucking broke up the Hurt Business for whatever fucking reason. Are you going to keep them together? Are you going to have them as a tag team in the division challenging for the tag team titles? They literally just threw this shit together because of the simple fact that they had nothing going on. They had nothing going on, and they just threw this shit together as a match out of the blue. Made no sense. Didn't really mean anything. A basic match, a Monday Night Raw match on WrestleMania. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I don't know where Omos and AJ Styles go. If anything, this match, my friend Cameron Johnson, I know he's watching. He actually said that this match was simply made to get Styles a Grand Slam championship victory at WrestleMania. At the end of the day, dude, let me tell you something. They don't give a shit whether AJ Styles is a Grand Slam champion. This was simply made because of the simple fact that they just wanted to have some random-ass tag team match on the show. They didn't give a shit. There was probably no fucking reason. Vince McMahon probably made this match for the same exact reason that he broke up the Hurt Business. He just wanted to do it. He just wanted to do it, so he did it. He just wanted to make this match. He just wanted to put Omos in the ring with AJ Styles and have him win the Raw Tag Team titles, so he did it. What's going to happen now? I don't care. Tag team titles are fucking worthless. Tag team titles are undoubtedly one of the most worthless titles in the entire WWE. That goes for the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles as well. Even though the match that we got on SmackDown, the WrestleMania SmackDown, even though it's just a regular SmackDown, the match that we got at WrestleMania SmackDown was actually a very good match between all four of those teams. But at the end of the day, SmackDown tag team titles are still worthless. So AJ Styles and Omos are the new Raw tag team champions. I don't give a shit. Tag team titles are worthless. Match wasn't as bad as I expected. Omos isn't as bad as the Great Khali, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Means nothing. Styles is a Grand Slam champion, and we can all collectively say that Styles and Omos as the Raw tag team champions, they absolutely offer just about as much interest as the New Day. New Day will probably become 12-time tag team champions within the next month and a half. We got Shane McMahon versus the Stupid Express. The Braun. Stupid Express, Braun Strowman. This was a steel cage match. Strowman was on his way to the ring before Elias and Jackson Ryker attacked Braun Strowman. They actually hit Braun in the leg with a steel chair. They tossed the steel chair to Shane McMahon, and he unloaded on Braun with the chair. So obviously they started this one out pretty hot with a steel chair angle. Braun then stopped a steel chair from hitting him in the face. Shane then ripped a piece of sheet metal. He went up to the top of the cage, and there was a piece of sheet metal on the roof of the cage, the outer perimeter of the cage, and he ripped off a piece of sheet metal, and he hit Braun with the sheet metal, reminding me of the Asylum match between Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley about 5 years ago. So Strowman then sent Shane McMahon into the cage a couple times. Strowman then sandwiched Shane between himself and the cage. Shane with a DDT to Strowman. Shane then with a coast to Strowman. Strowman then kicked out of the coast to coast. Elias and Jackson Ryker tried to help Shane, but Strowman rammed himself into the cage and knocked down Elias and Jackson Ryker. Shane then fell back into the ring. Shane and Braun were brawling on top of the steel cage. Shane then hit Strowman in the head with a toolbox that was in a bucket attached to the top of the cage. Shane was outside the cage, and he was going to drop down before Strowman grabbed his hand. And this was probably the only cool spot of the match, for me, at least. That and the fact that Shane was tossed off of it. Braun Strowman grabbed Shane McMahon's hand, and he started to peel back the section of the cage that Shane McMahon was hanging onto. He peeled back the section of the cage, and he ripped Shane back into the ring. And I thought that was actually pretty interesting. Shane and Braun were then on the top of the cage, and Braun Strowman tossed Shane McMahon off the top into the ring. Shane McMahon landed with a fucking thud. I gotta give props to Shane McMahon, 50 years old, taking bumps like that. Surprised he didn't fucking break his spine. Looked fucking brutal. You cannot pay me all the money in the world to take that. I would not want to take a bump from that high, and nor would I would like to land on my fucking back like that. Braun Strowman, and it's like they had to put the stamp on Braun Strowman. It's like they were mocking Braun Strowman right in front of us, and they were showing us what they really thought of fucking Braun Strowman right then and there. It's like, yeah, Braun Strowman won the match, but Shane McMahon still won in the end, because he proved that Braun is stupid. Braun Strowman could have easily climbed down the side of the cage, and he would have won the match, but no, he needed to get into the ring, risking a recovery from Shane McMahon, and risking Elias and Jackson Ryker possibly coming into the match, now that you ripped half of the fucking cell open, and attacking you. Braun went into the ring, trash talk Shane McMahon. This is for everyone that's ever been called stupid. Picks him up, hits the running power slam, Braun Strowman wins. Again, I state, it's like Braun Strowman won the match, but Shane McMahon still won in the end. It's like they wanted to tell you, without actually telling you, that, yeah, Braun's a fucking retard. So, Braun may have won the match, but he's still fucking stupid. Braun may have won the match, but he's still fucking stupid. And that was pretty much that. The best part about this entire thing was the fact that we can all thank God that this is not going to continue. There's no reason for it to continue. Shane McMahon did not win. I know a lot of people were apprehensive that Shane McMahon was going to win, and Shane McMahon was actually going to get the upper hand, and this feud was going to continue going into Money in the Bank, similar to what happened with The Miz and Shane McMahon feud at WrestleMania 35. But thankfully that did not happen. Shane McMahon loses to Braun Strowman. We can move on from this garbage. We can move on from this bullshit. And I can absolutely see Braun Strowman as the next challenger for Bobby Lashley. Realistically, there is nobody else. Cross ain't coming up. Finn Balor ain't coming up. Adam Cole ain't coming up. The Fiend, I have a feeling they're saving him for either Backlash or the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Maybe even fucking SummerSlam. Orton's gonna get beaten by The Fiend. It's supposedly a squash. Unless they have fucking Drew McIntyre magically pin Bobby Lashley, and we get another match between Drew and Lashley, but I don't see that happening. I see Strowman as the next challenger for Bobby Lashley. I don't fucking want it. Now we're going to have to deal with the Stupid Express in a WWE Championship title match at Money in the Bank. That's pretty much that. Bayley actually interrupted Michael Cole and the other commentators, and Bayley actually rolled the Hall of Fame footage before the next match. So they did end up getting Bayley on the show in some way, shape, or form. There was actually a rumor going around that they were going to do a Ding Dong Hello segment with Bayley, and Bayley was actually going to be responsible for bringing back Becky. They were going to do a Ding Dong Hello segment, and Becky was going to interrupt because she did post something on her Instagram, and she lined up all the first letters of the words that she put in the caption on her Instagram photo, and they lined up reading Night 1. So obviously that did not happen. There was no major surprises. There was no Ding Dong Hello segment, and there was no Becky Lynch. To be quite honest with you, I'm really not complaining because Becky Lynch, she really wouldn't have made the show any better. It was an Night 1, but she really wouldn't have made the show better. That was pretty much that. Bayley interrupted the commentators. She rolled the Hall of Fame footage before we got into the next match. So, after that, we had bunnies. Yes, I did not stutter. People in bunny suits hopping to the ring, and we had fucking Miz and Morrison legitimately performing Hey Hey, Hop Hop. This was fucking terrible. It was absolutely fucking terrible. I did not take any notes on this. All I'm going to say is, before we get into the actual match, if anyone is in support of two grown men rapping while surrounded by grown individuals in Easter Bunny costumes, rapping about an outsider coming into their wrestling world, and you think that that's good entertainment, you need to check yourself into the nearest medical fucking asylum. This was absolutely fucking horrendous. That's all I'm going to say. I do not want to get into this. I really don't want to waste any time because I'm fucking tired. Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus The Miz and John Morrison. Here's what I'm going to say. Despite the horrendous fucking storyline, despite the terrible fucking promos, and despite the invalid arguments and justifications trying to say that, oh my God, this is great for WWE and Bad Bunny's going to bring all this publicity to WWE. Meanwhile, the ratings are still shit. They're still under 2 million. Bad Bunny, he's bringing in a 1.7 million ratings. Yeah, really good. Really good. If you actually think that WWE is going to benefit from Bad Bunny, I think you may be a little fucked up in the head there. If anything, Bad Bunny is going to benefit more from WWE than vice versa. But despite all of the invalid arguments and justifications for this match even happening, despite the terrible promos, despite the horrendous fucking build and storyline, this match was fucking great. This match was excellent. I was not expecting this match to be as good as it was. I was not expecting Damian Priest and Bad Bunny and Miz and John Morrison to actually deliver what in my mind was probably the third best match on the show. Probably the third best match on the show as a whole. This match was actually better than the WWE Championship match. And I'm shocked I'm even fucking saying that. This match was fucking great. Now, The Miz, he called for Priest to tag in Bad Bunny. He did. Bad Bunny with a couple right hands. Miz couldn't get anything going, but he finally got a knee to the gut. Bad Bunny with a nice arm drag takedown. Bad Bunny with a very nice head scissor takedown. Miz though, and Morrison took over. Miz and Morrison wore down Bad Bunny. Miz with a DDT. They continued the assault. Bad Bunny came back with a very nice tornado DDT to the Miz. Priest then got hot tag, and he lit up Miz and Morrison. He threw Miz into Morrison. He hit the South of Heaven for a 2. Bad Bunny came in, and they delivered double broken arrows to Miz and Morrison. They kicked out. Priest with a step-up tope con hero taking out Miz and Morrison. Bad Bunny with a double cross body on Miz and Morrison. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale in the ring on Damian Priest, but Bad Bunny saved it. Bad Bunny, and I was not expecting this. Booker T was actually on commentary, and he actually coined this the best that he could possibly coin it. Bad Bunny was yanked off the apron by Morrison. I didn't know what was happening. Bad Bunny, he set up Morrison what looked like he looked like he was going for a powerbomb, but instead, the guy delivers a fucking Canadian destroyer. Guy delivers a fucking Canadian destroyer to Morrison on the floor, and Booker T called it a Bunny destroyer. Priest and Bunny then hit an electric chair crossbody combo for the win, and Bad Bunny and Damian Priest beat The Miz and John Morrison. I was not expecting anything from this match. This match had absolutely no fucking right to be as good as it was, and I would go so far as to say that Bad Bunny outperformed Shaq. I would go so far as to say he outperformed Shaq. Did he outperform Pat McAfee? No. He did not outperform Pat McAfee. He did an admirable job, but he did not outperform Mr. Pat McAfee. But I was not expecting Bad Bunny to do half the shit that he did in this match. Props to Bad Bunny. Props to him. The storyline sucked, the feud sucked, promos sucked, everything about this match sucked, but everything about it sucked, but the match was fucking great. Match was excellent. Very, very entertaining. Bad Bunny really did hold his own in this match. And Damian Priest, I can't complain that Damian Priest got his WrestleMania moment. He got his first major WrestleMania win. Bad Bunny, more likely than not, is gone. Here's the thing that I want to pose now. The question that I want to ask now is, what happens to Damian Priest? What happens to Damian Priest? Did WWE merely push Damian Priest and WWE merely spotlight Damian Priest like this simply for Bad Bunny? Or do they actually have plans to push Damian Priest? Do they actually have long-term investment in Damian Priest? I don't know. Where does Damian Priest go from here? It's not about what happens now. It's about what happens 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months from now. Damian Priest, if he is not at least United States champion by the end of the year, this company is doing something wrong. Now, I would like to have a little hope. I would like to have a little hope that because of the fact that he got the hot tag, and he got all this offense, and he really got a big moment to shine in this match. I would like to hope that that is a sign of good things to come for Damian Priest. But again, with this company, I just can't. I just can't. It's seeing is believing with this company. I can't invest my time in a company after I know what their track record is. Again, there's only been about 10 call-ups out of 150 call-ups that there have been from NXT that have actually gone on to have long, lucrative careers on the main roster. I am not going to believe that Damian Priest is going to have a successful career on Monday Night Raw, especially Monday Night Raw is the place where careers go to die. I cannot believe that Damian Priest is going to have a successful career on Monday Night Raw unless I see it happen. Where does he go? I expect him to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He doesn't need to win. He doesn't need to win, and I would not give him the Money in the Bank contract. To be quite honest with you, I don't know who wins Money in the Bank this year. I really don't know who wins Money in the Bank this year. I would probably give it to Sami Zayn. I'd probably give it to Sami Zayn. See what you can do with Sami Zayn. If not, I would probably give it to someone on Monday Night Raw. If anything, and I don't know where the fuck he's. Well, actually, I do know where he's been. But if anything, my Money in the Bank pick would be Keith Lee. My Money in the Bank pick would absolutely be Keith Lee. Give it to Keith Lee. And have him cash in on Bobby Lashley. Have him become the WWE Champion at the hands of the almighty WWE Bobby Lashley. The WWE Champion. Whatever the fuck to call him. The almighty WWE Champion. If anything, Keith Lee's the right man to win. But I would absolutely put Damian Priest in Money in the Bank. I wouldn't mind seeing him going into a potential undercard feud with Drew McIntyre, like I said. And I would absolutely do Damian Priest versus Matt Riddle at SummerSlam of this year, with Damian Priest going over and winning the United States Championship. That's how I would do it. But again, I would like to hope that what we saw tonight was a sign of good things to come for Damian Priest. He's been booked fairly decently. A great match here on WrestleMania. He got his first major pay-per-view win, and it was at WrestleMania. I can't really complain there. And then in the main event, the rightfully deserved main event, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Smackdown Women's Championship. Banks and Belair showed up and showed out. This was a great way to close out night one. An overall fairly decent night one. Great way to close out the show with Bianca and Sasha. These two women fucking brought it. These two women absolutely fucking brought it. These two women went in there and tore the fucking house down. I would probably say this was the second best match of the entire night. So Banks, I'm not really sure what her outfit was. I'm not really sure what she was cosplaying, but it looked great. Bianca looked great. Sasha looked great. So this match started off very, very technical. Sasha went for a suicide dive. She connected. Bianca caught her, rolled through. John Cena style rolled through. And she military pressed Sasha. This was fucking impressive by Bianca. Military pressed Sasha, walked up the stairs, tossed her into the ring. That was fucking great. Banks then grabbed a hold of Belair's ponytail as Belair went for a handspring moonsault. Kneed her a couple times, delivered a Shining Wizard for a 2. Belair then spiked Sasha to the mat, back first. Belair with a deadlift suplex to Sasha Banks. Very nice stuff there. Belair then mounted a comeback. Very nice standing shooting star press. Belair then with a glam slam. She went for the 450 splash, but Sasha Banks got the knees up. Sasha Banks got the knees up. Bianca Belair delivered a powerbomb, but Bianca was not anticipating Banks bridging her shoulders up by her head and hands. It actually looked very, very impressive. Banks then reversed another powerbomb into a facebuster. We had a springboard tornado DDT by Sasha Banks on Bianca Belair for a 2. Banks then went up to the top rope with a frog splash, but Bianca shoulders got up. Bianca kicked out. Bianca was then sent shoulder first into the steps. Banks then with a modified armbar, and then she transitioned into the Banks statement. Belair then rolled through, got to the ropes. Belair dodged the Meteora, and Belair was on the top rope as Sasha went knees first into the turnbuckle. She fought out of the Tree of Woe, and Sasha was down. Bianca then delivered a beautiful 450 splash, but Sasha Banks still kicked out. I was getting a little apprehensive that they weren't going to pull the trigger and they were not going to give Bianca Belair the championship at that moment. But a very, very, very nice near fall right there. Back and forth countered by Sasha. KOD countered by Sasha. Backstabber countered by Bianca. Round and round we go. And we get the KOD connecting after Sasha Banks got whipped with Bianca's ponytail. KOD connecting, and Bianca Belair seals the deal. Bianca Belair wins the SmackDown Women's Championship in her WrestleMania match debut. And Bianca Belair comes out on top. Bianca Belair is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. And I know a lot of people may not think that it's the right decision, but listen, I'm sorry, it's the right decision. And I'm going to tell you why. I understand your concerns with Sasha. I do. I understand your concerns with Sasha. I understand your concerns with Sasha Banks getting a WrestleMania win. I understand your concerns with the storyline being fucking terrible. I understand your concerns with everything with this main event and how poorly the main event's been built up and how poorly Bianca Belair's character's been built up and how Sasha is just in desperate need of a WrestleMania win and she deserves to be at the top of the mountain for a long, long time. I understand what you're saying. But you need to understand something. You gave Bianca the Rumble. You elected to give Bianca the Rumble. If this was Bayley, if this was someone like a Bayley or a Becky or Charlotte or an Alexa Bliss, you know, someone who's already made, someone who's already a made woman, and they lost, that I understand. But Bianca Belair, she has been on the main roster for a solid fucking year. She's been on the main roster for a solid fucking year. She did absolutely nothing on Monday Night Raw. She was left in fucking catering in Monday Night Raw. She was drafted to SmackDown. She was put into an undercard program with Bayley. She got a win over Bayley. And then she goes into the Rumble. She wins the fucking Rumble. You're not going to have her win the Rumble after nearly 1 year of absolute fucking nothing on the main roster. Absolutely no build, no storyline, no progression. You're not going to have her win the Rumble, finally get something, finally throw her a fucking bone. You're not going to have her win the Rumble and not follow through and have her win the fucking championship. If Bianca lost here, she was never going to win the title. It would have been a Shinsuke Nakamura incident all over again. Shinsuke won the Rumble. You're not going to have Bianca win the Royal Rumble and not follow through. If Bianca did not win here, I'm telling you right now, she would have followed in the same path as Shinsuke Nakamura. She would have never even sniffed the world title, and she would have been in a makeshift tag team with fucking Bayley, winning the fucking women's tag team titles by the end of the year. This was the right decision. I understand everyone's concerns. Trust me, I get it. I hear it. But at the end of the day, we shit on WWE for a lot of things. Creating new stars is one thing that WWE does not do. I don't know who's behind this. I'm not sure how this... I'm actually still shocked. I'm actually still shocked that Bianca won the Rumble and she won the fucking title. I'm shocked. I'm dead-ass fucking shocked at this outcome. We can shit on WWE all we want, but the one thing that we can't shit on WWE for in this instance is they did the right thing and they made a new star. They took Bianca Belair, they had her win the Rumble, they gave her the title at WrestleMania. Can't shit on that. I can't shit on that. This was the right outcome. I understand your concerns, but again, if Bianca didn't win here, she was not going to ever win the title. There was no reason for us to trust WWE in terms of rebuilding Bianca back up and having her win the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam at the hands of Sasha Banks. They gave her the Rumble. You had to follow through. There's no way you were going to have Bianca Belair go into WrestleMania and not win the title. Now what do we have? Bianca Belair is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Rightfully so. Well-deserved. I can definitely see a rematch with Sasha at Money in the Bank, and Bianca Belair retains there. I can definitely see a match with Carmella, possibly at Backlash. I definitely would not mind seeing that. I would not mind seeing a match with possibly Ruby Riott or Liv Morgan as an interim program. As far as SummerSlam goes, you save Bayley for Bianca at SummerSlam, and you put Bianca over at SummerSlam with Bayley taking the pinfall there. Where does Sasha go? I see Io Shirai in Sasha Banks' future. Io Shirai, she is main roster bound, and I would put her on Smackdown. And I can absolutely see Io Shirai going into a feud with Sasha as an undercard program for SummerSlam. And Io Shirai, absolutely, Io Shirai must be in top contention to win the Women's Royal Rumble. You have Bianca. Bianca is to hold that title for a year. Bianca is not to lose that title until WrestleMania 38, with Io Shirai winning the Royal Rumble, and Io Shirai and Bianca going head-to-head at WrestleMania 38, with Io Shirai becoming the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. There are no fucking excuses. End of conversation there. Overall, a decent night of pro wrestling for night one of WrestleMania. They did a decent job with Cesaro and Rollins, Bianca and Sasha. The opening match was very good. Crowd definitely made it better than it was. Realistically, outside of the women's match and the steel cage match, it was a fairly decent night one. I've seen much worse. Obviously, the bad was bad. We shit on the bad. The good was good. I am going to keep a close eye out for night two. Night two absolutely looks better than night one in terms of match quality. It looks better in terms of how it looks on paper. We'll see what night two has to offer. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the rewind for WWE WrestleMania 37 night number one. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out all the links in the description, and I will be live tweeting tonight for night number two, and I will have the rewind for WrestleMania night number two up for you guys on Monday afternoon. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the rewind. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I am fucking tired. I'm still going to be editing. I'm still going to be doing all this other shit, but I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to get some editing and get some sleep. You guys have a great fucking day, and I will see you later tonight for WrestleMania Night 2.